Anything wrong?
Well, you're filming private cars, not police
No,
cars.
I'm filming public property.
No, you're filming cars.
I'm filming. No, that's what you're presuming.
Well, I've just been
I can
told.
film whatever I can see in public.
I've just been told you've been filming private cars.
Afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Could you identify yourself as well for me, please?
Why?
Well, you've come in and you've approached me.
Yeah.
So it's in your policy to actually identify. Okay, and failure to identify will result in retraining. Okay, so I'm asking you properly to identify yourself, please, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. So why are you sitting here?
No, if you can identify yourself first, and then we will carry on with a conversation.
I think there's times where I have to identify myself.
Yeah, you do.
And there's times I simply have to
Yes, you do.
What is
Yes, you
the
do.
purpose of you recording here?
So you're
Okay.
basically coming down here just to try and provoke some sort of confrontation, is that just...
No, I'm filming public property. That's what you're presuming, okay? Don't make a presumption on what I'm
Okay,
doing.
what is your reason for
Okay? Well, first of all, identify yourself properly.
I can see it from Croydon Police Station.
Okay? And your shoulder number, please.
It's on my shoulder, you can see it.
No, not everyone can read numbers. That's why I'm asking
Can you
you
not?
to say it.
Do you need help
Okay?
with that?
Well, why do you think I'm asking you to say it? No, I'm asking you to say it, please, sir.
I have to say.
Okay, so people that can't read numbers, that's all what you do.
Well, anyway,
Okay, that's why I'm asking you if you can actually say what your actual shoulder number is, please.
I can do anything, sir.
But you won't do that.
Don't need to.
Okay, so you don't need to.
No,
Okay?
you don't need
You're
to
quite
be-
arrogant,
don't-
really, aren't you?
In today's footage, Plod is quietly recording outside a police station, standing well within a public area where filming is perfectly legal. Without warning, two officers approach, closing the distance with a clear intent to assert authority. They demand his personal information, citing Section 50, but without offering any legitimate legal reason. Plod remains composed. He doesn't argue aggressively, he simply refuses to comply, politely but firmly explaining that he is under no obligation to provide ID. It's a calm, textbook example of a citizen who knows his rights and won't be rattled. By holding his ground without losing his cool, Plod draws a clear boundary that the officers can't legally cross.
Why are you...
You're very
recording
arrogant. It
police
makes no difference why I'm filming.
station? No, it does.
No, it doesn't. No, it
Because
doesn't.
you're simply here to, you know...
No, it doesn't.
provoke some sort of
No, that's
confrontation.
what you're
why you-
presuming.
What's the purpose of you filming this? The
It's
cars that are
it's
going
a
out
public building.
here? Yeah, but some of these are private cars.
I can film whatever I can see in public.
Indeed.
Well, why do you do that?
Well, it makes no difference why I do it.
Why
It
do
makes
you
no
need to do
difference
that?
why I do it.
Well, it does.
What it does is
No, it
it's
doesn't.
one of these people that likes to provoke confrontation.
No, that's
So
what
you
you're
stick a video
presuming.
online and monetise
That's what
it.
you're presuming.
You just
okay?
monetise a video,
That's what
isn't
you're
it?
presuming.
No, you're one of these other... Many,
Yeah,
many
really.
fools
And
that
you're
goes
one of
and
these absolute turds, okay, that literally think that you can bully the public, speak to them the way
not
you
bullying
want,
anything.
failure to actually identify yourself properly, and we actually pay
And
for
you've got to
meatheads
sort
like
this
you.
out.
We pay for
You've come to
meatheads
the
like
police
you.
station to provoke this
We pay for
confrontation,
no.
haven't
You approach me. Let's get it right. You approach me. You
You've
approach
come to the
me.
police station because
You
you want this
approach me.
confrontation.
You approach
Where have
me
you
to get
travelled
it
from to get
correct.
this confrontation?
Makes no difference where I've come from.
How far have you gone?
Makes
Just
no
have an argument with a police
no,
officer.
You've
Your
come to me.
reasonable reason.
You've come to
I've
me.
come to you to find out
Yeah,
why
but
you're
you're the
recording
turd
police
that came to me.
you
Okay,
stop
to get it
calling
right.
them turds?
I'm doing nothing wrong by calling him a
a bit rude,
turd.
From the very first moment, the lead officer's body language and tone suggests he's above the rules he's sworn to uphold. When someone requests his name, a simple, reasonable expectation under the police code of ethics he casually dismisses it with, "I don't think I have to." That isn't just poor manners. It hints at a belief that wearing the uniform exempts him from public accountability. And when he finally acknowledges the request, it's with minimal effort, no clear introduction, no straightforward ID, just a vague gesture toward a badge number on his shoulder. It's a performance that undercuts the trust his position demands. A badge is supposed to symbolize openness and service, not serve as a shield for dodging transparency.
You wouldn't like if we started calling you names.
Well, you're in an office.
You stop
of
pointing at
power.
me like that.
I will point as much as I want.
Well, it's a bit aggressive, isn't
Okay.
it? No one's been
No,
aggressive to you.
No,
You've come
you
out to make sure
come.
that
You
you're
come in,
okay
and you
and
two
you're
are both
safe.
pushing me closer and closer to this curb. Okay, so I'll actually ask you
You
to
were
take
stood
a
on the
step
road a
back.
minute ago.
No, I wasn't. Not when you approached me. No, I was not.
You were. You
So
were
I'll
on
ask
the
you to
road.
take a step back if you won't mind, please, sir, and then I can move forward from the curb. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Safer now, do you?
Okay.
Why now? There's a car coming.
I'm perfectly fine now.
Brilliant. Right, now why are you still outside the
It
back of
makes
Croydon
a
police
difference
station?
why I'm here. I'm
Filming
filming
the back
public
gate.
property,
Yeah, but you're also filming private cars.
and I'm doing nothing wrong.
But why do you need to do that?
No, if they get caught
Where
in
is
it,
this
I'm
filming
filming
going?
public property. It makes no difference
Well,
what
it
I
does.
do with it. No, it does not.
That's to me.
No, it does not.
going round
Well,
and
then
round
you
in
should
circles.
not have approached me. Okay, you got this meathead here, okay, and he is a complete meathead and
You're
should
kind of-
not be anywhere near the public.
Why is that?
Your abusive
Okay.
tone is getting kind of irritating, sir.
Yeah? Well, you're irritating.
I know, but
you're
being
irritating.
kind of abusive, and that. of
I'm
course,
not being
is-
abusive.
You threaten me.
I haven't threatened you at all.
Oh, sorry,
How have I
threatened.
threatened you?
Quite right. You haven't threatened.
Okay, so
You've
that.
been abusive.
Okay.
The irony here is hard to ignore. The officer becomes visibly irritated over a light, throwaway comment aimed at his colleague, comment far less sharp than the dismissive tone they'd shown earlier. There's no profanity, no threat, no real malice, just a remark that could easily have been brushed off. Instead, the officer reacts as if a serious insult has been hurled. It's a complete overreaction, made worse by the fact that he still hasn't addressed his own failure to provide proper ID, rather than acknowledge that lapse. He pivots into a defensive posture, trying to make himself the aggrieved party. It's a classic tactic. Inflate a minor slight to draw attention away from your own missteps.
I'm just saying. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It is.
You cannot be offended in the office of duty. No, you cannot.
I can.
No, you cannot, because you've got to. You've got to expect. No, you've got to expect language, okay, and saying turd, okay, is in the actual English dictionary. So look it up. Look it up.
Stop being abusive.
Look it up, okay. Turd is not abusive.
abusive.
Turd is not
Stop calling me
abusive.
names.
You say it's not a rude word. However, the definition of turd is a rude word for someone who you think is unpleasant. I'm not doing business with that little turd as an example. Okay? So it clearly is a rude word.
Yeah,
So
but it's
why
not
are
a
you-
swear word. But it's not swear word.
You have to swear.
Yep, and
But
you
are
have to
being
expect
rude.
that.
You are calling me names.
Yeah, and?
Which does now
Okay,
border
so
offence.
you came.
It also is
Public order. Okay, so
it
who?
also
So you
antisocial
can.
behaviour.
You cannot
So due to
actually.
antisocial
You
behaviour,
cannot
Under
actually.
Section 50 of the Police Reform
Please,
Act,
okay.
I'm going to require you to provide me
Right,
details.
so then here's the question for you. Under Section 50 then,
Of the Police Reform Act,
under Section
if you
50,
don't report-
you've got
give me
to
the
have
details.
proof. No, you've got to have
If
proof.
you don't provide me your details, you can be arrested for it.
Okay, go for it. I want to see an inspector then, please.
What happens next follows a familiar pattern in poor policing interactions. The escalation of language to justify control. The officer first claims he was threatened, a serious allegation that implies real danger. But when pressed for details, the accusation quickly softens to abuse. And what exactly counts as abuse here? Words like meathead and turd? Immature? Certainly. Criminal. Not even close. Officers are expected to take a certain level of verbal criticism without losing composure. That's part of the job. By reframing petty name-calling as a serious offense, the officer isn't protecting the public. He's using his position to deflect from his own lack of professionalism and to discourage lawful criticism.
Okay, I'm entitled to see an inspector, right? And if
One thing
you're
at a
if
time.
you're
So
actually
what is your
using
details,
Section
sir?
50, okay, I need you to actually use the words correctly in Section
your name,
50
sir?
and what part of Section 50 you're using, please.
What's your name?
What
sir?
part of Section 50 are you using?
We're not going to have to keep
What part of Section 50 are you using, please?
We're not going to have to keep conversation.
Well, no, you need to tell me what part of Section 50
And I
you're
have done.
using for. No, you
Due to
haven't. You
antisocial
just said
behaviour,
Section
I'm
50.
requiring your details.
Okay, so where's the antisocial behaviour?
You stand here constantly calling us
Okay,
names.
that's not antisocial
It
behaviour.
will be for me.
Well, for
So-
you, okay, you can't be the arresting officer.
Okay.
Okay, nor can you, because you're directly involved.
You haven't been.
You're directly involved.
So, are you going to provide your details or not, sir?
I'm not going to provide anything because I've done nothing wrong.
So
Well, you can be guilty of an offence if any person is arrested for failing to provide their true name and address may be arrested on the stand. Arrest provisions of the Police and Criminal Act 1984.
Okay.
Okay, I have,
Are you going to provide
if
your details
I have reason
or-
to believe you're acting in an antisocial manner.
Yeah, and where is that antisocial behaviour? No, I'm not.
Well, you are. You're swearing.
No, I'm not.
Swearing.
Standing-
I'm not
Constantly calling us
swearing.
names.
Let's get it right. Turd is not swearing.
You're
standing in the
Turd
street
is not
constantly
swearing.
abusing
What
two
you
people.
believe and what actually is the law
Are you
is
in a,
different.
Are you in a public place?
Okay? I'm in a public place.
Are you being
Is there
offensive?
members of the public here?
Yes.
They don't need to
Where?
be.
Where?
We are members of the
Where?
public.
No, you're not. You're an officer.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
you're an
I'm a member
officer.
of the public.
No, you're an officer. No, you're not a member of the public. You are an officer
So what
there
am I?
to uphold the law.
In this scene, the officer tries to transform a harmless remark into something that sounds like a criminal act. He leans on Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2000 to a law designed for genuine instances of antisocial behavior. But here, there's no worried crowd, no distressed bystanders, and no credible complaint. The only problem is that the officer didn't appreciate being challenged. Section 50 only applies when there's a reasonable belief that someone is causing harassment, alarm, or distress. That threshold isn't remotely met here. The auditor points this out calmly, noting there was no offensive language, no victim, and no actual disruption. The officer's attempt to escalate looks less like law enforcement and more like an effort to suppress lawful expression.
Not abuse your powers.
Who's abusing power?
Okay? You tried to abuse Section 50 just now.
I'm not trying
Yeah,
to
you
do
did.
anything.
Okay, and you
I'm
still
required
haven't
to provide
put it. Well, what you actually require, I require a superior officer as my actual legal right. So I've asked you to actually get a sergeant or an inspector to come
One
out.
thing at a time.
Okay. Well, then you
Are you
do
gonna
that
provide
first,
the
and then
details?
we'll move forward from there.
Are you providing details
Okay.
or not?
I told you no.
No. Okay, fine. So at this point, then I'm going to have to arrest you for breaching section 50, aren't I?
Okay, go
So
for
you
it.
have to do it.
It's your choice, not mine.
Well, no, it's yours.
It's your choice. No, I don't need to.
50 of the police
Because I've done nothing wrong.
We do have the powers.
I've done nothing wrong. I've asked you to produce where the member of the public is, okay, for the antisocial behaviour, okay? You cannot be the arresting officer for that if you are the one that you were saying that it was against, right? And that is what the law is,
Do you not listen to it?
okay? I'm talking to you, he's reading out whatever, I was talking to you. In this day and age of what?
There was a lot of issues.
Like what?
Security.
Okay,
You've
and
got
as I said,
terrorism,
is the building
you've got
secure?
domestic terrorism.
Is the building secure?
People are filming, cameras, gates, key locks.
I'm filming public
cars
property.
coming in and out, private cars coming in and out.
Okay.
Not all police vehicles.
I try not
There's
to get
private
private
cars
cars.
in
I try not to get private
You don't
cars.
know what a private
Well,
car
it makes
is
no
at home.
difference. Well, if it gets caught, I'm still doing nothing wrong.
I mean, you could quite easily have stood out on the pavement and done
Well,
it.
I can stand exactly where I want on public property.
At one point, the officer justifies his stance by claiming, "We are members of the public," as if that makes a public order allegation valid. Legally, this is misleading. While police are indeed citizens in a broad sense, they are not ordinary members of the public when performing official duties. That distinction matters. Laws like the Public Order Act or Section 50 are meant to protect civilians from harassment, not to shield uniformed officers from criticism during the course of their work. Officers are trained to handle a higher level of verbal challenge without taking offense by trying to blur that line. The officer is misrepresenting the law. The auditor's response clear, measured, and legally accurate cuts through the argument and exposes the shaky foundation behind it.
Police station is public property. As long as I don't enter a restricted area, okay, then I'm actually standing where I'm publicly accessible, allowed to
That
go.
would be the front office.
Okay,
You're
and
not
exactly here, and exactly here.
But
If
it's
I
a little
went,
bit dangerous. You've got cars coming in and out.
makes no difference.
And
I'm
you've got
standing
private
on the
cars
pavement,
coming in and out.
and
There is no
your
policing
point is
purpose
what?
for you to be here, is there?
Okay, I'm entitled to stand here
What's your
and to
lawful
film.
purpose for being here?
Okay, filming in public is completely lawful.
Absolutely. However,
Okay,
you're
so
going into
that's why,
a police station.
and that is completely lawful
Well, why do you need to do that?
because it is lawful.
It's not really.
It is law. It's not.
You-
Okay,
you
right. I'm
lawful.
just,
It may be
you know,
lawful.
I'm just going to go into my bag for a minute, just to pull something out
It may
for
be
the both of you.
lawful, but again,
Okay.
what do
Don't you bring
need
out
to do
anything
it.
silly and
Okay.
something.
No, that's why I was telling you like, what I was doing.
Well,
Okay.
a lot of people have done that and pulled knives out.
Right. There you go, sir.
Who is this?
Okay. And you'll actually see what it actually states, that I'm completely lawful to actually film any police officer, any property of the police, okay, any station, anything.
Yeah.
To plod or not to plod?
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Yeah, not bad.
What are you doing today?
Good, not too bad.
So he is doing those videos then?
YouTube, yes.
I don't need to identify myself.
Police stations, knowing
I don't
that we're
need
gonna
to
come
identify
speak to you
myself.
so you can monetize a video.
I don't need to identify myself. You
That
tried
was
to
actually-
abuse.
we were
You
correct
tried to
then.
abuse Section
We were
50.
correct, weren't we?
You tried
We
to
were
abuse.
correct.
No, I was
We were
correct
correct,
because
weren't we?
you
We were
tried to
correct.
abuse your powers.
You've come
You
here
tried
just
to
to get a
abuse
video
your
that you can
powers.
monetize, haven't
You
you?
tried to abuse your powers. This is why we
Give you
do
the
this.
opportunities.
You can see the way that the other officers went and the sergeant. So yeah, what I'll do is I will put those complaints in, there's no doubt about that. Altogether, I believe that I've got 14 complaints all going through at this moment in time, I do believe.
This exchange reveals the officer's real agenda, and it's not rooted in public safety. When the auditor explains that he's filming a government building from public property, lawful activity, the officer pivots, pointing out the presence of private vehicles, but there's no law against that, and no reasonable suspicion of a crime. The auditor even explains that he avoids capturing private cars whenever possible, showing both awareness and consideration. Yet the officer persists, framing personal discomfort as a legal concern. It's a telling moment. Instead of enforcing the law as written, the officer appears to be enforcing personal preference under the guise of authority. The dynamic shifts instantly once the officer realizes who he's dealing with, a familiar face from an auditing channel. Almost like flipping a switch, the tension drops. The earlier talk of Section 50 fades away, and then comes the revealing line, "You've just come here to get a video from us." That slip says it all. This was never about an actual crime, it was about discomfort with being filmed, and the fear of scrutiny. From the very beginning, the officers skipped basic ID steps, overreacted to mild comments, and tried to stretch minor language into antisocial behavior. Then into concerns about private vehicles, and finally into accusations of content seeking. None of those justifications stood up to scrutiny. Meanwhile, the auditor remained calm, polite, and entirely within the law. The moment the officers recognized him, their approach softened, proof that the confrontation was built on shaky ground. This is exactly why public audits matter. They uncover how quickly authority can drift into overreach. how vague unease can morph into shaky legal claims, and how easily such claims fall apart under informed challenge. That's all for today's breakdown. If you found this analysis useful, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more. And don't forget to check out Plaud's channel links in the description. This is Rate the Audit. See you next time.